Hello YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Kevin and this is the Red Pilling channel. So, we need to talk about a specific Republican politician. He's a senator, pretty well-known senator, and he ran for president in 2016, and will be Ted Cruz. He's the senator that represents the state of Texas. So, the fall of Ted Cruz is really sad. And I say that because Ted Cruz, which I know there's a lot of people who still kind of like him, but I think that's largely because they remember him from 2016 and before, and so they think he's the same when Ted Cruz has unfortunately sold out Republican conservatism and really has sold out to his donors. And, well, as he said on Tucker Carlson, he ran because of Israel. So, kind of says where his priorities are. He's definitely not America first. All he talks about is Iran, foreign intervention. He really doesn't talk about anything else. And whether you like what I'm saying or not, the facts are more on my side. He had not an easy path to victory in his re-elections. He struggled with a terrible candidate, Beto O'Rourke, and just had a lot of bad. He won his re-elections because for Texas, it's still pretty conservative. The left is too insane for Texas, so he held on because of that. But he definitely does not have his priorities in check anymore. And here's the thing. I like Ted Cruz largely because he's one of the few senators that stood with Trump when they were trying to vote on if the elections should be certified or not. Because that's the one where Mike Pence decided to certify it anyways. The people call that the ultimate betrayal. And Ted Cruz was one of the ones to vote no on that. So I respected him for that, and I thought maybe Cruz could be a potential VP for Trump. He seemed more loyal to Trump on those things. Well, that seems to change. And I thought he was going to move more in the MAGA direction, and I thought he was always kind of a little bit too neocon, but he seemed to go way at the other direction than what we hoped for. And it's so bad now that it's hurt his reputation. And I think where he really hurt himself is when he decided to, he was interviewed by Tucker Carlson last summer. He was interviewed, and, this is the whole pro-Tucker, pro-Cruz, who side are you on? Well, at the end of the day, even if you agree with Ted Cruz, you're kind of on the minority on that end, because Tucker Carlson, I thought, totally, basically ended his career, because he could not defend his position on Israel. He could not. And, I don't know what his faith is. I know he grew up Christian, and not saying Cruz isn't, but he doesn't come off like a person that really is that practicing of his faith. It just doesn't sound like he's someone who really reads the Bible or anything. He couldn't even recite in the Bible where he was quoting the whole, bless Israel, you'll be cursed or not. He couldn't even recite the Bible verse, and everyone at least knows it's in Genesis. He couldn't even recite where it was, and clearly had no context on what that even means. So whether you think, Tucker was kind of arrogant as well, that's besides the point. Cruz embarrassed himself because he knows nothing about Iran, even the culture of Iran, and he seemed to just want Trump to go blow it up. Wanted, to send me and send my generation to go die for his interest and for his interests, special interests, and for Bibi Netanyahu. So yeah, and he admitted himself that that he ran for Israel, and it's like, I thought you ran for Texas, right? You ran for the state of Texas. I thought you're supposed to represent Texas, but he said Israel. So that's kind of strange to me, but he's really well liked by the Israeli donor class, and he seems to be really beholden and controlled by the lobbies anywhere, and lobbyists. That's a problem. And it's not just Israel; it's a lot of lobbyists that control him. But he, especially on the war machine, foreign labor. I don't really think he cares much about securing the border, no matter what type of um, pandering he uses. He definitely has seemed to go full rhino. And I thought he was definitely a rhino I tolerated. I could at least respect him. Thought he maybe actually had a chance to win an election, maybe if he evolved, but he has no chance now because he totally has went full Bush mode republicanism and doesn't even embrace MAGA anymore. And here's some evidence that I'm not paranoid. So some tapes came out because Ted Cruz is also running for president in 2028. And so Trump, there was a private conversation and secrets have come out that obviously Ted Cruz was not a fan at all by Trump's tariffs. And he trashed Trump's tariffs, according to Axios, which is leftist, but this was leaked. Cruz tells the donors, I've been in conversations he was very happy about it. This was not one of them. Cruz says it was reported Cruz says he told Trump, Mr. Trump, if we get to November and the 401ks are down 30% and prices are up 10 to 20% at the supermarket, we're going into election facing a bloodbath. You're going to lose the House, you're going to lose the Senate, and you're going to spend the next 2 years being impeached every single week. And according to Trump, his response to Cruz was, F you, Ted. So here's the thing. 401ks are important, but you can tell all he cares about is the boomers, protecting the boomers' 401k. He's definitely the boomer candidate, and he's out of touch with the most of the base that voted for Trump, the young people that want American made, Gen X and Gen Z who want investment on America. So, and it's clear that the tariffs are working. The inflation has remained relatively stable, and this is what he says. So I know that, and so it's clear he definitely does not support Trump's agenda. He doesn't even really pretend to anymore. And another thing's come out that he said that the reason he's running for president is because of Tucker Carlson. So he's unhinged. This guy's gone unhinged ever since Tucker Carlson's interview, and I think that's what caused him to go full rhino, is to own Tucker. And it's like, well, first of all, Tucker Carlson is probably the most popular conservative podcaster out there among Trump's core base. He has a huge following, anywhere from young people to Gen X to independent leaning conservatives who probably are America first, but don't vote for every Republican like you. And so, I mean, that's the base that Tucker appeals to, the normies, conservative people. And you're going to attack one of the most popular ones, the podcaster who has the voters that you need in order to win. So I don't know what's happened with Ted Cruz, but he seems to have sold out to the globalists and to the donors, to people who don't have America's best interests. And it sounds to me this is all because he wants to spite Tucker. And I know this for a fact now because he's finally come out against J.D. Vance. And I told you that Tucker Carlson is really more about J.D. Vance than anything. And there's this conspiracy that Tucker because Tucker, I guess Tucker and Vance are really good friends, and Tucker had a lot of persuasion of Trump to pick JD Vance, and I think his son works in his administration on the VP side, and so a lot of people don't trust Vance because of Tucker. They think that's kind of weird, but it's like, okay, but either way, they think that basically Tucker controls Vance, and which is funny to me. I mean, it's ludicrous to me, but it's like if Vance, which I think Tucker supports Vance as president, largely because he agrees with more of his policies. But if it's like if Carlson does not, if Tucker Carlson really controlled JD Vance, then why does it seem that it seemed that Vance was kind of I don't know. There's a lot of rumors that he was kind of for Trump striking Iran, but then I heard some saying that he was actually a big component of Trump not striking Iran to try diplomacy, which that seems to be true because look at Trump. He didn't strike Iran despite the pressure by Lindsey Graham. So it's pretty clear Vance is an America first. He's the more newer version of the Republican Party going forward beyond Trump. And there's an effort by the neocons to try to stop JD Vance. So it's really a never Vance movement, and they're using Tucker as the cause, thinking that Tucker controls them, and there's no evidence of that. What I do know, friends don't have to agree with everything, but I do know friends stick together, so why should he have to disown Tucker because of some positions? So, for example, this has come out that throughout, so according to Cruz, he says, Cruz repeatedly invoked Vance, connecting the vice president, Carlson, claiming he advocates for Carlson's anti-interventionist foreign policy. Tucker created J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is the protege, and they are the one and the same, Cruz stated. He has mounted sustained social media campaigns against Carlson for months, but avoided publicly linking Carlson to Vance, who are friends before these recurrent services. And also, of course, accusing Tucker of some extreme views like extreme things like accusing Tucker of anti-Semitism and maybe being a little too friendly, a little lukewarm with Islam and a little bit with Iran and stuff like that. And of course, Russia and stuff like that. So here's the thing. I'm a pretty big Tucker Carlson fan, and I'm not saying I agree with everything he says. I think he has some issues, but the base is largely more in a Tucker Carlson and J.D. Vance direction. So I don't make the rules. I don't care if you like it. There are people who hate it, but that's where the Republican Party is going beyond Trump. So, and it seems Cruz doesn't really view the left as the enemy. Like he complains how bad the left is, but he's not spending his time attacking the left. He's rather attacking J.D. Vance and Tucker Carlson, a podcaster. So, I mean, we literally have Minnesota in chaos right now, and this is where Ted Cruz's focus is Tucker Carlson, and he literally said he's going to make his campaign about Tucker Carlson. And he's going to use Tucker Carlson to stop J.D. Vance. Yeah, that's going to work well for you. I mean, I don't care what you think of Tucker, but it's like, you really think that's the focus? I mean, it seems to me Tucker lives rent-free in his head, and a lot of these old guard swamp Republicans, it seems to me they live rent-free in their head. Tucker lives rent-free in their head, it's funny. I don't think Tucker Carlson lives rent-free in his head that much. It's ridiculous. So it's just tragic. I know I sound a little bit biased, but it's quite, I think, sad that Ted Cruz, I thought, was kind of decent. I thought he was a guy that kind of grown, and he seems to finally have given MAGA the finger. And I think the reason he hates it. He hates us now is because Tucker Carlson exposed him that he really does not have the interest in mind. And this isn't about Israel. This is about where who owns Ted Cruz now. It's sad because he's not the same person anymore. I know people who want to believe that he is, but it's just tragedy. So I read some facts that come out from his own words, but this is the problem. I think Vance is the best candidate right now to take over. Has nothing to do with Tucker Carlson. The only way Vance hurts himself is if he caves to the Republican establishment mob and disavows him just because he's being pressured to. That's how he'll hurt himself. And let's be honest, I don't know. I can't read J.D. Vance's mind. I don't know his heart. I do know they're good friends. Friends stick together even when it's hard. That's how you know if someone's really your friend. Do they stick with you even at hard times? And we don't know. I'm pretty sure they disagree on policies, some policies. And J.D. Vance said in a response that there's something they disagree on, but they still see him as a conservative, just as much part of his movement as such. You have Laura Loomer that decided to take shots at him because he went to a pro-life at March for Life rally, saying that, haven't you learned that not to run on this issue? Are you trying to lose elections? So the people who accuse Tucker of dividing the movement are the ones doing the same thing. And I've had enough of it. I hate to say it, but someone needs to primary Ted Cruz because I've had enough. And ever since, whether you like how Tucker interviewed Cruz or not, Cruz's response since his interview with Tucker, he has not even tried to pretend that he cares about America or Americans, and clearly has interests that are not what Americans want as priority. So anyway, but that's what I had to say. I shared some facts of what I was reading that came from Ted Cruz's own mouth, and I don't know. So that's all I have for this video. So if you like this video, please like. If you don't like it, let me know on why. Let me know what you think down below. If you like this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. The Red Pulling channel out.